What's up guys, welcome to my channel. I've got a quick one today just talking about how long it would take to get to that 100K mark as a new software developer. I'm going to be looking at my income history with my titles and the current data trends that I'm seeing right now to try to answer that question for you. Let's dive into it. All right, first up, let's look at my salary history and my progression as a software developer. So first, year one, I graduated college as an economics and business major. Got my first job as a junior SQL developer making $30,000 a year. The next year, I jumped straight into .NET development, C# development, still took that SQL experience and applied it here. I became a junior at this point, $43,000 a year. I switched companies in year three. I got a bump up to $65,000, still junior. Year four, still junior as well. Got to that $68,000 mark. And then finally in year five, I got a bump to that mid-level .NET developer, .NET developer 2. My income jumped up to $71,000 that year. Year six, I got a bump up to $75,000, still mid-level developer. Year seven, ended up switching companies, got a big pay bump up to 88, still mid-level. And then in year eight, finally, I broke that 100K mark. I got promoted as a senior software engineer. At this point, I had picked up Angular, I picked up a lot of the front-end technologies like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. So I really expanded my offering as a developer, and that really helped me make the bump up into senior level. And then from here on out, this is just additional data that I have in my last few years of working. So same company, got a pay bump up to 102 in year nine. Then I switched companies. My title changed to a senior full stack engineer at 145,000. That quickly bumped up to 158, and then finally at 161 in year 12, which is where I'm still at currently. So these are a couple of good data sources to look at. First up, we've got Indeed.com. This has junior software engineer at around 80,000 per year. It's showing senior at about 150. Both of these I feel like are in line from everything else I'm seeing. If we look at Builtin.com, Builtin.com has just a ton of great data. It gives you a lot of ranges. First up, we've got junior software developer at 87,000. That's a little higher than the 80 we saw in Indeed. If we look at the software developer kind of generic title, I would assume this is more of a Dev 2. It's looking at an average of 144. And then if you come down to senior, you can see that we get up to 164,000 a year. And then finally, Glassdoor.com. This just kind of shows some generic mid-level salaries. This is showing it right at 149, which is kind of in line with what we saw at Builtin, with the highest they're seeing at about 177. So how long would it take you as a new developer to get to that 100K mark? Looking at the salary data we just saw, juniors are around 80 to maybe 85,000 a year. That mid-level range was pretty massive. It came from 120 up to 170. That Dev 2 spot seems to be where you would definitely break into the 100K mark. For me, it took me roughly, looking at the data we just saw, about 3 to 4 years to finally break into a mid-level developer. So I think that's a pretty good target, is about 3 to 4 years to finally break into 100K. Now, obviously this could be different depending on what kind of development you're doing, what region you're in. If you're in San Francisco, for instance, the salaries are a lot higher than if you're in Kansas, right? It just kind of depends, but these are averages across the board. Helped at all? Please like, comment, subscribe. Talk to you guys later.